like in that tradition, you alluded to it earlier as far as the difficulties of the Franciscan charism, and I was talking to you a little early before we started filming that when I do vocation talks, I talk about how the crazy Franciscan tree and how Francis's rule basically is very simplistic, and it just says to follow the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so Franciscans have argued for 800 years what that means, and so we've had all these splits, and no, you're not poor enough, or no, we should be doing this ministry, or we should be that ministry. Dominicans haven't had that struggle. Why is that?
Maybe it's the root of Dominic and the Church. The unity of the Church is a big thing for Catholics, and I think for Dominic. But we've tended to work out so that if people wanted to reform, if they felt the need to, we'd give them a house of reform, and let that either attract or attract others, or whatever the outworking is going to be inside of us. So we've never had that thing of splitting off from each other. And maybe it's just a gift of the order in that sense. The Francis is almost too big to contain, okay? But there's a sense in which we take obedience to draw us together, and we're very patient about correction. And I think, like I said, the process has been over the centuries. Reform comes gradually, and it never comes without opposition inside of a group. So there's oftentimes tensions when those things are happening, but it's been done inside, and for better or for worse, we hobble along together. Okay.
See, that's interesting, because I've always kind of interpreted it as where Francis was so much just a man of the sort of free spirit, running around the woods, singing whatever, that because the Dominicans were born out of this adherence to faithful and correct teaching.
Sure.
This is the scriptures, that you guys have had something to refer to. If in doubt, what does the church say? Where's the hierarchy say? Whereas Franciscans go, if in doubt, well, let's just fight about it.
Sure.
Let's just argue, and then so it's a very different.
Sometimes I've said this in various conversations that Francis was tempted by lust one time, and he threw himself into a thorn bush.
Yes.
I said a Dominican would think about it, but wouldn't do it. Okay. There's something impulsive that's very joyous and free inside of Franciscanism, and that explains the other thing. I think we ruminate.
Right.
We think things over, and what's the next step? And I think that keeps us together a little bit better.
Okay.
But in the long run, it's a gift to have unity, and it's a gift to have continuity in our orders. So even if there's many branches of Franciscanism, there's main branches, and they've had a long-standing relationship with the apostolate and with Francis and how they reflect him. So
and I said this on the other talk too, and it's true. Whatever strike, you put a bunch of Franciscans in a room, take their habits off, put a beer in their hand, you can't tell the difference.
Sure.
It's the same spirit.